know the vibes. Welcome to another episode of the Hoop Genius podcast presented by NBA 2K23. As always, if you haven't got your copy of NBA 2K23, hit the link in our description. You can join the Discord there as well. The 2K23, BJ, it came in clutch because I've been doing a little bit of traveling. You know, I've been out and about. I hopped on a plane to Abu Dhabi, but while I was on the plane, I took my Nintendo Switch. With me. A little handheld games console.
Oh, wow. How can I get one of those?
BJ, I'm going to send you one of these right now because mine's just run out of battery because I've been playing on it so much. It's got NBA 2K23 on the Nintendo Switch. So you can play 2K wherever you go, whenever you want, right there. So I was on the plane playing a bit of 2K. My boys were on the plane with me. They were playing a little bit of 2K. But I went to Abu Dhabi for the NBA's preseason games between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Atlanta Hawks. We're going to talk about that in a minute because BJ was also away and BJ is going to tell you where he went. But before that, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone for showing so much love on yesterday's episode of the podcast. We got flooded with tweets from all of you guys saying how much you enjoyed the episode. And I just want to say thank you very much for tuning in, for showing support, for sharing it with your friends, for leaving reviews. Shout out to each and every one of you. It's mad love, and we couldn't do this without your support. So I just want to say a huge thank you to you guys, first and foremost, and I'm sure BJ says the same. But BJ,
thank you.
You've been doing something exciting. You've been seeing something exciting. Tell the people where you went last week.
I went to go see the big fella.
The biggest.
The biggest of the big fella. Victor. I don't want to chop up his name. Wembanyama.
Now, I've been telling BJ about this kid.
See him in Vegas.
I've been telling BJ about this kid since maybe the first time we ever met many years ago. And he would always ask me, Mo, are you sure? Is he the real deal? And I said, you know what? He's coming to America. You can see for yourself. So BJ hopped on the jet, as only Mr. Armstrong does, landed in Vegas, and you got, I want to say front row seats, but we know that you don't like to be on the very front row because you don't want to be in all the cameras. But BJ had pretty good seats to see Mr. Wembanyama in action against the other number one, number two prospects in the draft class for this upcoming draft, Mr. Scoot Henderson. So let's start with Victor, BJ.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to ask you the question you asked me. Is Victor Wembanyama the real deal?
He exceeded well beyond my furthest expectations of how good he really was, how good he really is. This young man, if you were constructing the ultimate player in today's game with the rules, he's it. I mean, and I'm not just talking about the physical qualities. This young man has poise, the way he plays. You can't speed him up. He understands the game. He's like a 10-year vet, NBA vet.
Crazy.
I was so impressed with him and how he plays and his approach to the game. I was, but very rarely you walk away from a game and you say, wow. Well, he was wow. Like, wow. I had to watch him play 2 games just to make sure that he was that good. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. He is, when you say who's next, well, there's Victor and then there's everyone else. Wow. This young man he's that good. He's really that good.
I'm going to put you on a hot seat here. Complete the sentence for me, Mr. Armstrong, because I know you're one of the best in the world at scouting players. I know you saw Giannis before he was Giannis. I know you saw Luka before he was Luka.
Yes.
So I want you to complete this sentence. Victor Wembanyama is the best NBA draft prospect since
Well, I didn't see Wilt. Okay.
Oh, wow. Are we skipping the whole way?
Yeah. Okay. I didn't see Kareem. Okay. But I saw Jordan, and, I had an opportunity to see the late Len Bias. I was little, but I remember Magic and saw him. You know, Victor is probably the greatest prospect I've seen.
Better than LeBron.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, because he's 7'4". Wow. It's not just the athleticism, which is the thing that we are most attracted to, right? So we see young, physically gifted athletes, and you go, he moves like a guard, and you know, these are all the cliche things. He's strong. He's, you know, athletic. He's got a 50-inch vertical and all those things. Okay. All right, let's get past that. Bottom line is, can you play? that's the bottom line. Okay. That's the bottom line. Can you play? Right? We know what the formula is for greatness. It's big, strong, and athletic. Okay. This kid is incredibly big, right? Check. He's an amazing athlete. Okay. At 7'4", he moves and plays with a base. You go, wow. And the only thing he can't do right now, if I'm comparing him to Giannis and Joel Embiid, he's not as strong as those guys, but he will be. You can give him 6 or 7 years, he will be. So he has all of the physical qualities. He's big, he will be strong, and he's athletic right now. Victor is if he was in the NBA right now, which he is, and I'm going to say this here, he is in the top 5 best players in the NBA right now.
Wow.
Right now.
Right now.
To this day.
Right now.
To this day.
Right now. If we said
right now, who's the top 5 players?
Who's the top 5?
He's right now.
He's comfy in that top 5.
He's
Giannis,
okay, so,
Luka,
Giannis, Luka,
KD,
Jokic, Embiid, you know, those guys. He's right in there. He's in there. He's in there because of his impact on the game. I watched this kid score 37 points the first night, 36 points the second night, and he wasn't even, not saying he wasn't trying, but he made it look so easy. He wasn't even. They weren't even running the offense through him, and he scored 37 points. He was just playing. It was like a nice pickup game for him. He was like, okay, let me just work on my game. Like it was the most amazing, one of the most amazing things I've seen with him in a long time is you normally start to pump fake and do things as you mature as a player. Here's a guy that's 7'4", and he's every bit of 7'4". He was pump faking, and I just burst out laughing. And one of the guys I was with, one of the scouts, he was like, why are you laughing? I was like, he's 7'4". What is he faking? Like, who can block his shot at 8 feet?
It's just your natural human instinct, though, when you see a pump fake to go.
But he has an imagination. You can tell that he is prepared for the next move. So when he sees Giannis, when he sees Joel, when he sees Jokic and all of those players who will be much bigger and more, he will already be polished enough to utilize shot fakes, pump fakes, and all of those things. And I was like, now, how do you learn that at 17, 18? Because he was bigger, he was faster than everyone on the floor, and there's no need for him to pump fake. Like Shaquille O'Neal, like, what does he need to pump fake? He could just go right over the top of people. So I was watching him and I was saying, okay, who is this kid? But when he comes into this league, and we're just talking about offensively, defensively, Mo, like he'll be on the downside as good as Rudy Gobert on the downside.
Defensively,
on the downside.
His downside is to be a 3-time, 4-time defensive player of the year.
Defensive player of the year.
Wow.
On the downside, because he's more athletic, he's more reactive, he's at least 3 to 4 inches taller, at least 3 to 4 inches taller than Rudy Gobert. And the thing about this kid is he plays to the contact. he's not shying away from contact. So I was really surprised. He'll be that on the defensive end. Just watching him on the defensive end. Offensively, Mo, okay. His touch and left hand, right hand around the rim, wow. His jumper, Mo, is off the charts.
I saw the one where he's going to the corner, fading away off the move, drains the corner three.
Mo. His jumper is off the charts. Off the charts. When I tell you off the charts, I'm not saying he can just shoot a standstill three, a stretch guy. Mo, I saw the man in and out, crossing over, hit you with a shimmy, a little hezzy, and a step back, fade to the three. Mo, he was doing this under duress.
What's his game like down on the block, though?
Mo, that's the best part of his game. The best part of his game, he didn't even show you. I was watching him in the warm-ups, and I was watching Mo. The best part of his game is on the post, and his body is not even ready to go and do that on the post. Mo, it's his own. He will win a championship in the first 5 years of his NBA career. Probably sooner. Mo, he's that good. Mo, he's that good. This isn't like he's going to be good or he needs to work on this or and you know I love Giannis. And I love Giannis because the G is silent.
No. The G in Giannis is a capital letter and it's in bold. He's a G.
Yeah, he is a G. Okay. I saw Giannis. And you said he could be. And Giannis has taken that off. He eliminated potential on his name, and he is. This kid right now is bigger than Giannis. He's stronger than Giannis. He's taller than Giannis. His jump shot, all that better than Giannis at the same age.
Crazy.
Right?
Have you seen the pictures of him like standing next to Gobert and he makes Gobert?
It's not. That's what I'm saying. Mo, I was there. Those guys were there in Vegas.
Everyone's talking this year about Chet Holmgren. Have you seen the picture of him standing next to Chet Holmgren? He makes Chet look like a child.
Mo, he's so big. He's so tall. Like, Mo, you can't double team him because he doesn't even see the double team. He's so tall. Like, you can't double team him. He doesn't even see the double team. Mo, he was passing as if he was just like picking people. He's just picking them apart. He's just looking at the game. There's no obstruction every time he shoots. He just, athletically, he rebounds the ball, pushes it out, rebounds the ball, passes on the move. I mean, blocking shots. I was just so impressed with him, Mo, that I walked out just going, wow, who is he? And then the most amazing thing happened after the game. My phone rings and it's Ralph Sampson.
Tell the people
for those who don't know, Ralph Sampson was one of the greatest collegiate players to ever play. 7'4", and he was well beyond his time because he was 7'4" and he was very skilled and he could do things on the perimeter. But back then, the game for a 7'4" guy wasn't played on the perimeter. And he said something to me, Mo, we got to get him on the show. He's got to tell you in his own words. He said, BJ, if he has any grit, exact words, he will be the greatest player to ever play.
Wow. And he played, Ralph Sampson played alongside
Ralph played
my favorite big man of all time. One of the most skilled, if not the most skilled big of all time, with the best footwork, the best shot blocking ability, the NBA's all-time leader
in the post.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
On the post. Yeah, on the post, Hakeem, his footwork and his counters were incredible. But this kid can play with his back to the basket and facing the basket. This kid will be, without question, when you say skill, okay, you're just talking about back to the basket. This kid facing the basket, back to the basket, mid-range, low post, like nothing I've ever seen. Like nothing I've ever seen. He I was trying to nitpick. I was trying to say what's something the only thing that you can nitpick on is to say he doesn't have a a 45-inch vertical.
He
doesn't jump like
he can
Vince
dunk
Carter.
without jumping.
He can dunk without
jumping. But you say that. Did you see him in the warm-ups? He was here in the East Bay. He was going windmill.
No. Well, he could do everything. There's nothing he can't do. There's nothing he can't do. Like, and he does it with no effort. He has terrific energy. He plays the game with an energy, passing. You know, he's very unselfish. And I was just so thoroughly impressed with this young man. I was like, I can't wait to see him next year. I really can't. You know, Mo, I told this to a good friend of mine who's an executive in the NBA. I said, this is the first player that I can recall that I've ever said the following: he could be Rookie of the Year and MVP of the league in the same year.
Crazy.
Mo, he could.
That's a crazy hot take.
Yeah. He could be Rookie of the Year, MVP of the league, and Defensive Player of the Year, all in the same year. In year one, Mo. That's how good he is that good. Now, I don't know what else to say. I'm not, as you know, I'm not a proponent of tanking. I'm not a proponent of any of that.
I mean, the way you're talking, the way you're talking, I feel to call Brad Stevens and say, hey, listen, let's rest Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown this season. Let's wait for Ime to come back. We'll take this kid on our team.
No, listen. If he plays with a Jason Tatum, he'll win the championship in 2 years. I'm telling you, Mo, I'm telling you here. The only way the league will have a chance against this kid, if he just stays healthy, is you better put him on a team, the worst team in the league, and don't give him another all-star. And he will get to the conference finals because he's that. Well, when the game slows down, you know how we always say in the playoffs it's a different game. Mm-hmm. Well, when the game slows down, Mo, he can cover space on the defensive end like no one's ever seen. Mm-hmm. Well, he had a couple of blocks where the referees have to like huddle up to figure out how did he block it. If he goes to a team like Tim Duncan and plays with David Robinson in his first year,
it's unfair.
Mo, he will surpass, and I'll say it. I'm going to say it. He will surpass Bill Russell, the late Bill Russell.
Wow.
Mo, he's that good.
We're saying this kid has the potential to be the greatest player to ever play the game of basketball.
He has the potential, and I don't like saying the greatest, but I'll just say this: he will be in that discussion with his talent and his gifts, because he will have an immediate effect on the defensive end. Mo, the kid made 7 threes, and I'm not saying he was hot. He made 7 threes, Mo. And the team wasn't even playing through him. I saw a man score 37 points. Then he backed it up, scored 36 points, and they weren't even running the offense through him. He wasn't even like, let's get him a touch. I mean, he would go like 5-6 minutes and he wouldn't even touch the ball.
Crazy.
Because they were just playing. And he just, I've never seen anything like it.
So BJ, out of all the teams who currently, obviously one team might get injuries and everything might go wrong and they might drop down into the lottery, but out of all the teams we know
who would I like to see him go
in the lottery,
who would I like to see?
Who would you like to see him?
Okay.
Yeah, if you could control the ping pong balls,
if I could,
where do you want to see him? Because I've got one.
Okay, all right. If and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. So every team was there, every single team was there. So I had a chance to see everybody, right? And when I saw him play, I immediately thought of Masai in Toronto. I was like, this is an experiment that Masai has probably been dreaming of, because that's all he likes. He just likes long, tall, athletic, positionless players. And I thought, yeah, if he went and played with Spicy, Siakam and
Scotty Barnes, OG
Scotty Barnes, and all of those guys, he fits right in. Mm-hmm. And he's the ultimate player that Masai has probably been.
He is the point guard of your 7-footer team.
Yes, but Victor,
But the Raptors are going to be too good. So out of the teams,
yes,
like the Magic, the Pistons, let's take the Pistons because I know you're going to say the Pistons. Let's say the Magic, the Pacers, the Hornets, the Rockets, the Thunder, the Kings, the Spurs. Where do you want to see him go to? Out of all the quote unquote rebuilding, aka tanking teams, which one of those would you want to see him on?
well, we're saying, and very rarely does it happen, the team with the worst record gets the number one pick. You know, I remember when Derrick Rose, they had like a 1% chance, the Chicago Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see this kid for the basketball business and for the business of basketball go to a major market. I would love to see him because I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, if you live in an NBA city, get season tickets now. Because I told this to my kids and I told this to my wife, and my wife was like, she's, you know, like, oh, I say, honey, you want to go to the game with me? And she'll be like, no, I've been to enough NBA games. I told her, I said, we are going in the next 15 to 20 years. This is the player that my kids are going to say they saw in their generation.
Yeah.
This is the player.
He's the LeBron. He's the Kobe. He's the Jordan.
He's going to be the player that everyone's going to say he was, and then you're going to finish it. Well, he's going to be that. So where would I want to see him? I want to see him go to a major market. I really do. I just think it's better for the business.
I get that.
However,
I want to see it the other way around though, because I think he could inject so much interest into a small market team that it just changes the fortunes of not just the team, but the entire city.
Well, he's going to change the NBA. What I don't want to happen, Mo, this is what I don't want to happen. When you are a phenomenal player, like they all play in the major markets. Okay, Magic played in LA, Bird played in Boston, Michael played in.
Well, LeBron played in Cleveland,
Chicago.
Obviously,
yeah, he did. But imagine LeBron in New York.
Yeah, then that could
imagine prime LeBron in LA.
Yeah.
What I don't want to see, this is what I don't want to happen, because it's not good for our business. When you go to a small market team, at some point, the business is going to pull him to the major market. Well, that's just what it is. And I'm not saying with all.
Out of all the bad teams, I'd like to see him on the Charlotte Hornets, because they've been so bad for so long. This would really change things around for them. Do you know what I mean? Like, at least like Indiana have had some conference finals, and so have Houston, and Utah have like contended in the playoffs. But like, I want to see him on the Hornets, and like him and LaMelo together. How fun would the offense be of him and LaMelo? And he can clean up all of LaMelo's mistakes on defense. That's what I would like to see.
Whoever you put with him, they're going to be amazing.
I want to play. Can I get 12 pounds on the roster?
Yeah, absolutely. You can play with him. You and I right now could win a championship with him. He's that good.
Insane.
But I will say this: whoever gets him, and you know, I was talking to everyone. I wanted to talk to the coaches. Whoever gets him, he will change the game as you currently watching it now. And the reason he's going to change the game is because when you play with him, you're going to have to play in a system of play, because he is so skilled that you're not going to have to go isolation plays. So you know how now you come out of a timeout at the end of the game, or you come out of a timeout and you'll get the ball to your best player in isolation. Right now, you know, I'm just using him as an example right now, LaMelo. There will be no need for LaMelo to ever do an isolation play playing with him.
Yeah.
Now
that's crazy.
Whoever he plays with, there will be no need to have isolation basketball with him, because he can catch the ball in an operating area on the post and play as long as there's player movement on the floor with him. You will have to, as one coach said, you will have to have a system of playing with him that would incorporate, because the team is going to have to figure out how to play with this talent. Like playing with the Jordan, everyone's like, oh my God, he's so good. The problem with playing with Jordan, the problem with playing with these incredibly gifted players is when especially they're that gifted, how do you incorporate their talent into the framework of a team so everybody else can play with them? Like, what would it be like playing with Jordan and you call an isolation play? Think about that.
Did you ever get tempted?
Never. No, there was no need.
Well, Jordan.
Like, okay, I want to catch the ball and then wave him off and be like, okay, I got this. Like, that never happens. And it won't happen with this kid. So coaches are going to have to, I think you're going to see the game go back to more like ball movement, player movement, and into a framework of like teamwork, because you got to figure out, the rest of the team is going to have to figure out how to play with this level of talent. It's not going to be like, well, he's not that good. He is that good.
Yeah.
And he'll do it on both ends.
Yeah. And that's crazy. What did you think of Scoot Henderson, the number 2 ranked prospect in this draft class?
Terrific
on the
terrific
opposite
player.
team.
He's very strong, very athletic, explosive, has the ability to finish with either hand at the rim. And, you know, he's playing a very difficult position. You know, he's playing in today's game, you know, I don't call it point guards anymore. He's playing a lead guard position. So he's learning how to initiate and do those things. And I think the one thing that I saw with him was learning when to pass and when to shoot. And that's a very difficult thing, to have that balance, especially as a young lead guard in this league, especially in the way they play today. I really, you like he's got a strong body. And this kid will average 20 to 25 points a game right out of the box. Has a nice little mid-range. When I say mid-range, you know, he shoots beyond the 3, but he looks much more comfortable, you know, free throw line extended, and he can get there. He can bump you off. I think he's going to be I think he's going to be a terrific player. Now, will he be, you know, he's going to get drafted 2, 3 at the worst. So, you know, that's going to come with a lot of expectations. And we can't forget, he's still young. I mean, he's a young player. So, but I see him being a terrific, he has all of the things you're looking for physically. I mean, he's really, he's a big man as a young kid. I mean,
he's a beast. He's muscly, strong, can jump.
Athletic, he finished over the top of you. So, you know, someone's going to get a really good player. I mean, those 2 guys will really, really
take you from a tanking team to a playoff team instantly.
Yeah. You know, and it's not fair to say that with a young guard, but listen, I think this kid will be a 25-point scorer a night. He could be a 25 and 8 guy, and anyone will take that on any team. And he definitely will do that because he's that athletic, he's that strong, and he's got a little toughness with him. So I really liked him and I respected him. But it's just so hard to say anything after watching Victor, because you just saw a transcendent player that you only see every 20, 25 years. You don't see this often.
So whilst BJ was in Vegas seeing the future of the league, I was in Abu Dhabi seeing some of the best players currently in the NBA. It was the Milwaukee Bucks, led by Giannis, up against Ice Trae and the Atlanta Hawks, the new look Atlanta Hawks. And something interesting, you know, I started watching the first game, and I said to my friend who I was sitting next to, I said, I'm going to be interested to see how they use Trae and DeJounte in the offense, because obviously they acquired DeJounte Murray in a trade. And one of the first, maybe the first or the second play of the game, DeJounte brought the ball up, and they used Trae as a decoy. They set a couple of screens as he cut to the corner. The whole defense turned his head, expecting the pass to be flung out to Trae for a corner 3. The lob goes up, and John Collins slams down a massive jam. The crowd was going crazy in there. And it's just interesting to me now that the Hawks have more options, allowing Trae to play off the ball. So that was exciting. Giannis was obviously Giannis, but he didn't play the second game, so the Hawks won that with ease. But it was great to see the NBA expanding over to the Middle East, you know, getting new fans there. The fans were going crazy. When Shaq walks into the arena, Vince Carr walks into the arena. And speaking of Shaq,
when Mo walked into the arena,
listen, I do want to shout out. Okay, I do want to get some shout outs right here. There were some people out there in Abu Dhabi who came up to me and said, Mo, I love the podcast. Can we take a picture? And it made me so happy. I was, in fact, at brunch. I had brunch. I don't usually have brunch, BJ. I was moving bougie. I had brunch. Yeah, brunch. This is how I know I'm moving up in the world a little bit. I had brunch. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
usually I don't even eat until dinner.
Mo.
I had brunch.
Right.
And I'm having brunch. And I go to the bathroom. And in the bathroom, this guy comes up to me. He goes, are you Mo? I said, yeah. He goes, my friend who I'm sitting with on my table in there loves your podcast. He wants to take a picture, but he doesn't want to interrupt you. I said, my brother, it's never an interruption. It's always love. You guys show love. I show love right back. Came, took a pic. Man, it made me so happy that we got international listeners all over the world.
Right.
So salute to each and every one of you. Whoever you were that took the picture, tag me in it. I want to see what it came out like, because that was a wavy brunch. You know what I'm saying? So we were getting love for the podcast. PJ, we got to get out there next year. I know this year didn't happen. Next year, we got to get out there. We got to get out there.
We have to.
The
it's love out there.
And the OGs, you know, the NBA bought some of the OGs out there. They bought Shaq, they bought Vince, they bought Chris Bosh, they bought Isaiah, and they brought Dominique. And I've got some exciting news for the listeners. I had the chance to sit down one-on-one with each of them and do a little interview.
Oh, wow.
So over the course of the next few episodes, you're going to be able to hear those interviews. So stay tuned.
Nice.
You haven't yet subscribed right now. But BJ, something interesting happened when I sat down with Isaiah Thomas, your OG from back when you were in Detroit.
The Detroit Pistons finest.
I said, what up, though, OG? He said, what's good, my brother? Do you know what he said to me before we started the interview?
What's that? What'd he say?
He said, Mo, why you not got me on the podcast yet?
Oh!
He said, Mo, BJ knows I got some fire for you guys. We need to get Zeke on the show. We need to get the legendary Isaiah Thomas to come on the show because he's ready. When I told him we drop every day, he was like, oh, well, I thought you just did it every week. I said, no, every day. He's like, oh, I got to get on that. So we got to get Isaiah. We got to get Isaiah on the show at some point because he was hyped.
Okay,
done. He was hyped, ready. He's ready to do it. We're going to get it cracking for you guys. Abu Dhabi was a great experience. Shout out to NBA 2K for taking me out there with them. I was out there with some of your guys' favorite influencers, my boys Chunk, Sharky, Darkest, and all of those guys. And we made some content, did some 2K bits out there, which was fun. You guys will see that up on YouTube and stuff. A lot of stuff coming soon, a lot of stuff in the pipeline. So be ready for all of that. BJ, we got more fire to give the people, but that was a great episode. I'm excited already for next season. I'm excited for this season, but I'm even more excited for next season.
Right, excited. I you know what, and I don't want to look past this season, but you know what, Mo, I'm thrilled.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow, somewhere, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, we may never see this type of player again, because they're always one-offs. You know, you don't see. I mean, think about this. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar scored 38,000 points with one shot, but we haven't seen it again.
Mm-hmm.
A player like a Bill Russell, 11 championships. Wilt Chamberlain, you know, you'll see these one-offs, Jordans, you know, and in this generation, LeBron, you'll see a 6'8", 260-pound, you know. Let me tell you right now, we will not see another Victor come into this league.
Wow.
And get ready. Get ready right now, Mo. Right now, you and I have to figure out where this young man's going to be, and we got to get season tickets.
We got to learn some
wherever
French.
He's at. I do have to learn French.
We got to learn a little bit of French, make him feel at home.
You know what? Oh, I do. You know what I mean? Bonjour.
Bonjour, ça va, ça va bien, merci. That's all I know. Don't ask me anything else. But it's Victor's world. We're all living in it. But we can't overlook the season because, BJ, in just 1 week from today, we will be doing an episode recapping the start of the NBA season as the Celtics and Sixers go head-to-head on opening night, followed by the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. I'm so excited. We're going to be back on the court. And speaking of on the court, BJ, speaking of on the court, if the OG listeners of the show know the challenge you set for me to play on the court at the All-Star game in 2024, I may or may not have been putting in some work on the court in Abu Dhabi at the Etihad Arena. And that was crazy for me because I was playing. I did a little training session. Dominique was there, and the next day when I went to the game, my friend said to me, "Mo, have you just not realized that basket that Giannis is shooting on, you were shooting on yesterday?" I was like, "That's crazy. That's crazy." So be ready. I'm on the road to returning. The podcast is not going anywhere. BJ and I are going to be here all season long. Do not miss an episode. Thank you to everyone showing love. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave a review. Make sure you leave a rating, because we'll be back tomorrow morning with another one. BJ, thank you once again for the wisdom. Appreciate your scouting eye out there in Vegas.
Oh,
let's get it. The road to Wembley continues. Let's get it.
Yeah,
1 week.
We are in for
1 week. I think we're going to have to answer some fan questions before the season begins. But let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. The season's almost here. You're rocking with the Hoop Genius podcast. Get NBA 2K23 through the link in our bio. Join the Discord server. And as always, get buckets.